The utility room, washroom, or mudroom collection of decluttering can be cumbersome because there will be odd-shaped objects in there and items that don't really work or have a certain category, and we just house them all together. We're going to cover that today, along with a few tips on how you can be a little more organized and structured in housing those bulky items that are odd shaped. Hello everyone, welcome to the Dandy DIYer. This is Elizabeth, and today we are tackling that utility room or catch-all room, the laundry room, the mud room, and it's commonly where we put those bulky items that come straight in from outside. Perhaps we don't have a detached garage or some outbuilding where we can store those things, but we still use them. And a lot of people do actually wash their vehicle, and it might just have some of those bulky items that we use in the house. They are a necessity and those are very, very often, and we need to be able to get to them really quick. They usually have an odd size and shape, and they don't just fit anywhere. They don't really have their own category, but they don't go well in a closet, and they do need to be reachable. So here we are in the utility room. This is where the washer and dryer is housed, along with several items that we use. And these are uncommon things. They can be anything from the wasp spray to paint, along with washing detergents, insect repellents, maybe some fragrance oils for burners and sprays, and of course the trash bags and so forth. We also usually put like dusting cloths and things like that in those type of cabinets, along with plant food. And these can really truly be bulky and take up a lot of space. So you may be thinking, oh my goodness, Elizabeth, are you truly going to put all of that together? And most of the things in this particular cabinet, in this room, need to use with caution. They are hazard to children, so they need to be kept out of reach of children. And they are quite dangerous if they're mixed together. Most of these items will be flammable items, and that can be dangerous too. Well, that is another reason why we're going to cover this subject today, because this is something that you are visiting often, and truly it can be difficult to house those items, put them in a safe guard area where they're safe away from children and safe away from flame. So I want you to be aware that there are no sponsors in this video. All of these products are ones that I use, and you're going to see them. I don't really have a way to fade them out and shade them without you being able to get the gist of it. But just understand, this is not a sponsored video. It is not supported in any way except by me, myself, and I. Well, let's go over some of these items. The paint is way up in the top, and I have them lined up by color, so they're easily gotten to. Any kind of insect repellent or wasp spray, this is something that my husband commonly uses. All of the poisons as well as car cleaning items go up there. Now we do come down here to a shelf that I can reach, and I'm often in for my dusting, my fragrancing of my home, and insect repellent, as well as any washing assistant and plant food. Then the next lower shelf is the one that everybody uses. This is the one for trash bags, washer and dryer, and my daughter has her things. And these are just how this is the catch-all table. This has the laundry hamper and the pads and the micro dust cloths. These are being put into a box where I can just take hold of them and pull them out. Perhaps you have some kind of box bin or basket that you can use that will help categorize these. And when I go through this, I will look and see, are these old? Are they really stained? Are they wore out? Do they have holes in them of no use? And if they are, then I can discard them and get rid of them. I might have smaller ones. Then we have stuff that's like a drying chamois. Now this has been in here a while, and it doesn't really get used to soak up water. Seems that we always grab something else instead. And then we have some newer ones that haven't been stained up or used yet, thus buried under the rest. And we always have some kind of rag or cloth. But also in this box will be odd things that doesn't get used anymore. Like this could be donated. Anything that's for the cat's box, and so we don't have to get to it often, so it's in here. And then where I make my own detergent, I have my Phelps Naples soap that's right there, my stain bar rather. I shouldn't call it soap because it's actually a stain bar. And I make my own laundry detergent. If you're interested in that recipe and me doing that video, let me know. Put it in the comment box and I'll be glad to share that with you. We have some types of food and rooting compound for plants, and these are not always got to, but when I do, I can pull this whole box out and go with it. We have soft cotton diapers. These are excellent for waxing and anything that you don't want it to get scratched or have lint on it. Well, we used to have a vacuum, and this was the pad that went over the filter. So once again, this is something that's no longer being used. It can now be cleaned out and donated. A lint brush. Well, with it being stuck in this box, you can kind of see by the shape of it, it hasn't been used in a while. It is silicone. Perhaps someone else will benefit from that instead. I have my refill pads for my spray mop, and this needs to go elsewhere because I use these often. This is a extra one and they get washed. I had stuck that in there and forgotten about it, so I'm glad that I'm doing this because now I've found my backup. This is like a repellent for when you're doing gardening, and out here in the country it's not uncommon for us to make some kind of homemade stuff. It was up here in the cabinet, so I can put that in the outbuilding with our gardening hose and shovels and rakes and things like that. We have extra backup wool balls, and of course my natural laundry detergents to clean up my other dishes and appliances, the 20 mil borax. Very good stuff. You want to enhance your laundry, use it. It enhances your laundry detergent. So if you happen to be using any kind of detergent that you buy in the marketplace, use a third of what it calls for on your product, add a little bit of 20 mil borax, and you will be shocked at how clean, easily removes stains, and you're not doing all this extra work. It really will lift it out and supercharge, turbo boost your already laundry detergent. That's just a FYI plug I'm putting in there. But if you are interested in my natural laundry detergent recipe, it is a liquid gel. I don't use the powder one. You can do it as powder, but I prefer the gel one. But moving on. So how do we tackle these bulky items of odd shapes? Well, one is, for example, if you are a DIYer and you use a lot of paint and you also do your farm equipment and lawnmowers and things like we do, put them in a cabinet to where you can get to them, but it's going to take an effort to get to them if you're able to do that, or place them somewhere where they're all together and you can organize them based on their color and use, just like I have. Any kind of insect repellent spray, when it's winter and fall, you're not going to use that so much, but right now during the summertime we are still using that and we're still having bees. The car wash stuff the same way, what you call a seasonal item, or things that you get to often with plant food. And then for your detergent use, you want to be able to get to that just like you would your bags and your laundry detergents and aids. Do fragrances and sprays, those are something that I get to often. And then insect repellent, this could technically go up there, but since I'm the one that uses it the most, I keep it here. With your cleaning cloths and things like that, locating them on a shelf or an area where you can easily get to them by placing them in a bin to where they can be stacked, very organized and folded, and you can easily get to, unless you happen to have room under your sink or somewhere else. If you use a lot of cleansers, perhaps you can have a small bin for some of them there. Now I know these are awkward and bulky things, so size does matter in what they fit And you may be in a cramped quarters and have to consider that whenever you do your organizing. But if you happen to have a large cabinet like this to where you can section them off and categorize them and place them together so that the sizes match, thus the bottle's height, the width, and they all fit really well in that area, and it allows for shifting and moving one to get to another. Same up here, putting them in a row to where the one that you use the most is in the front, the extras and runoff are in the back. Same up here, do it by color so that the ones that are close to empty are in the front, the full ones are directly behind it. And then of course anything that could harm a child or be flammable, practice safety first. Keep it away from exposure to any kind of heat and flames and things like that. The things that we always practice in our home. And if you have children, you know the higher the better. The out of sight, out of mind. That's the whole idea. Go vertical. Start going up and get that up out of the way. Cleansers, I would recommend that if you are a household that has children that might frequent the cabinets or be in that area, definitely check into using the child safety locks and the Serenities and security. Small children can't manage that, and if they do, they're just a little more clever in advance. Perhaps you need to invest in a padlock. Just saying. So I hope some of these will help you. I'm going to finish organizing this. Okay, so I am excited to show you the results of the cabinet. And let me just leave you this tidbit. Folding is essential. Whenever you are putting things up and everyone knows where everything is, you don't have to pull something out to get something out, with the exception of these, and that's on me. I don't have a problem with it. But now I can get to my mop replacements and my microcloths, and I can pull this bin out and get what I need and push it back in. So folding is essential, and I'll do a video later on about that. It takes up less space if you fold things a certain way. So any kind of cloth, fabric. I have different things that I practice. I came from a textile background, so there are certain ways you can fold things that take up less space because it takes the bulk out of them, makes them a whole lot easier to deal with. And perhaps it may even be one of those skills of origami, but the bottom line is you can truly benefit from the space that you have. It just may take you learning a new skill, such as folding something a certain way. I hope that everyone gained something from this video. If you enjoyed it and you picked up some tips and helped you a little bit with organizing, categorizing, and safety from hazardous things and child so high up that a small one couldn't get to it, without, of course, stacking themselves into a tower, doing the human tower, so to speak. Please leave comments and let me know what you're thinking of these videos. Like the video, lets me and you two know that you enjoyed it, and I'll show you more of the sort. Share it out with someone who could benefit from this information. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, we do a lot of DIYs on here. This is Elizabeth, and until the next DIY, I'll be decluttering, organizing, donating, and cleaning.